we need to talk about the benching of Garrett Nussmeier on Saturday night. On Saturday night, LSU's interim head coach, Frank Wilson, benched Garrett Nussmeier for Michael Van Buren Jr. in the third quarter of the LSU versus Alabama game. Now, I was never that high on Garrett Nussmeier in the first place, but I'm confused what fans and Frank Wilson were thinking about benching him, because is he even playing that much worse than he was playing last year? There was all this hype going into this year about Klubnik, Aller, and Nussmeier, and as we all know, they were all kind of failures. Well, big-time failures. But why bench Nussmeier? It doesn't make any sense to me. Garrett Nussmeier's completion percentage this year is a 67%. And last year, let me check, it was a 62%. On top of that, last year he recorded 29 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, and this year he was on track to do, well, maybe a little bit less touchdowns, but a little bit less interceptions as well. When he was benched at the recording of this video, he had 12 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. So the point that I'm trying to make is that I don't understand why Nussmeier last year is this guy that could go to the draft and is one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and if he comes back, and when he did come back, he's going to be this big yada 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 great guy because of what he played last year. It isn't like we all thought that he was going to improve a bunch, although many may have thought he was going to improve a bunch. It's not like people didn't think he was good last year. In fact, last year, over and over again in the media and online, all I was reading is about how good Nussmeier was. But Nussmeier has played largely the same this year as he did last year. Now, granted, I haven't seen all the LSU games, but based on the stats and the games that I have seen, it looks like the same old Nussmeier that I've seen before. He makes some good plays, he makes some bad plays, and he's a fine quarterback. I'm not saying that the backup isn't also an electric quarterback. I thought he was a good quarterback as well at Mississippi State. Listen, the point of all of this is why bench him? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I think maybe as an interim head coach, Frank Wilson felt that he could make a statement and try and do something big, and maybe that they had a chance on the road against Alabama, and I get it, but what are you doing? And to be fair, the backup brought some life into the game, but I just don't understand it. And what happens this week? Do we bring Nussmeier back into the game with his confident shot? I mean, this is a guy who at the beginning of August was one of the Heisman favorites, was supposed to win the national championship, and is now sitting with a team that has benched him, has lost a bunch of games, relatively, and it seems like his draft stock has just absolutely plummeted. It makes me think about when I was watching Weeks and him talk on in the SEC show on Netflix. That was kind of terrible. And it was like, if you come back, we win the championship. You know? And Nussmeier's like, oh, you always think about going to the NFL? You know what I'm talking about. You know, I could be super fucking wrong. Maybe he has, been way worse this year. But to me, it seems that he's been the same. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll see what happens against Arkansas. Also, we'll see what happens with fucking the Brian Kelly situation and them trying to not pay him. That'd be fucking insane. Also, what is the point of that? What coach is going to want to come play for you after you didn't pay out your last coach when you fired him? What?